Spider-Man PS4 was alright. It was cool. I enjoyed it. I beat it. I haven't beaten the DLC, but that's kind of because I lost interest. But that's okay. That's okay because you got the next game. The next game you gotta make like something like fire. You gotta make something like God of War, something like Uncharted that's got that pizzazz. You know that thing. You know that But it's cool. Insomniac, y'all did y'all thing. Next go around, do y'all thing even bigger. Let me give y'all some tips though, because I think what I have to say may propel the next game, to be on this whole nother level where it's like the best superhero game, period. And it's the best game that comes out within the year that it comes out. So here's my wish list for Spider-Man 2 PS4 or Spider-Man PS5 or Spider-Man with list a character and some numbers. I don't know. So, can I talk to you real quick, Insomniac? Real quick. Me and you just talk real quick. The best stories are the ones where Peter Parker's world and Spider-Man's world collide. Yes, that's a great sentiment. However, you have to actually pay that off. There has to be some kind of meaning behind that when it comes to gameplay. The Amazing Spider-Man game, it did that. It was like Gwen Stacy's infected and Spider-Man has to figure out a cure. Like, that's directly the worlds colliding. I guess Insomniac did that by way of Aunt May works at Mr. Negative's homeless shelter and you get to play as Peter Parker and walk around. I don't know. Scratch all of that. Listen, we're going to talk about story within this video, but it looks like they may be going the symbiote route, right? So what you need to do is have it where Peter Parker is actually like a character, right? In Spider-Man PS4, Peter Parker was kind of generic. He's a good guy. That's his base character trait. He's a good, loving guy. And sure, that's Peter Parker, but there needs to be something else there. How about when it comes to the worlds colliding, there's a gameplay element to it. When you play as Peter Parker, you're not just walking around doing nothing. What if you deal with Peter's relationships and it has an effect on the story, right? You introduce other characters to the game. That way Peter isn't his only friend isn't Mary Jane. You introduce other characters within the game, Robbie Robertson, his son, things like that. Quick pause break, okay? Let me just point out some individuals that could perhaps be in the game that would really enhance Peter's personality, because characters are really the people around them, So you've got Randy Robertson, who is Robbie Robertson's son and becomes Peter's roommate in the comics. Liz Allen, who has a connection to Harry Osborn. Flash Thompson, who is Peter Parker's bully and also goes to the army. Then Robbie Robertson, Gwen Stacy, of course, with Norman Osborn being in the mix, and Eddie Brock, who we're really going to get to later. But just to name a few, these are some people that could be in the game that could really push Peter's personality. A lot of alliteration there. And you have it where Peter has relationships. If the symbiote's going to be in there, that can influence the story. I, as the player, I get to shape Peter Parker how I want, because that may have been the thing. They don't want to piss fans off because they have this interpretation of Peter that some fans don't agree with. So how about you get that power into the hands of the gamer, where I get to shape my Peter Parker? And if the symbiote's involved, it's even more interesting, right? Meaning that I can talk to people and I choose what I have to say, and this all connects with the story. It all connects with the story of not only Peter Parker, but of Spider-Man, right? And they can shape that aspect of the game. Give Peter Parker gameplay, actual gameplay, and have us, as the gamer, control it, and have Peter have a personality other than a good guy, because it was very generic, in my humble opinion, Now this story, let me talk about this story real quick, then I'm gonna get to some gameplay aspects, okay? The story, now, Insomniac. I'm Venom 2 million, in case you didn't know. Hi, you gonna leave me hanging? It's fine. I like the character Venom. And I like the character the Green Goblin. And the idea of having Green Goblin and Venom in one game is dope to me. That's really exciting, and I really want that, and that would be amazing. Amazing. However, Harry Osborn is not Venom. He is not Venom. Eddie Brock is Venom, and Eddie Brock already exists within your universe. You put him in an Easter egg, right? He was on the card. He signed the card. Peter Parker, when he used to work at the Daily Bugle. Eddie Brock already exists. He is Venom. Not Harry Osborn. Ultimate Spider-Man did that. What wonderful show did that. Harry Osborn is not Venom, okay? He's not Venom, so do not make him Venom, okay? This is how you do. Let me help you out, okay? Because if Harry is Venom, I'm going to be pissed. But Insomniac, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. Because you care so much about the fans, you're not going to do that. No, you're not. So this is what we do, okay? Idea. Mary Jane is already working at the Daily Bugle. She's working there. She's climbing up in the ranks. Eddie Brock already worked at the Daily Bugle before Mary Jane even got there, right? This is what you do. Mary Jane and Eddie Brock are either partners or they're rivals. And, you know, we just had this huge thing with all of these gangs, you know, coming out and destroying things in New York. And Mr. Negative tried to kill Norman Osborn, tried to assassinate the mayor. Then Otto Octavius just goes on this huge rampage because he doesn't like the mayor. What's up with the mayor? Eddie Brock is investigating. He goes into the lab, he gets into the goo, and he becomes Venom. Something like that. Or maybe Mary Jane beats Eddie Brock at something, and Eddie is like on that last straw. If he doesn't get this, then guess what? He's going to lose everything. He's desperate. He's trying to figure out what he needs to do, what he can do. Somehow, some way, he's investigating Mayor Osborn, finds the symbiote goo, and that's how he becomes Venom. But again, Insomniac, Harry Osborn is not Venom. Is an interesting thing, okay? Some people want co-op in it, some people don't want co-op in it. You already set Miles Morales up, he has the powers and the thing, yeah. So an idea could be cooperative gameplay, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and is this weird trend of Spider-Man being a team player. Like, Spider-Man was, growing up for me, he was always his own, he was solo, you know, he wasn't really with the Avengers. He was like, you know, Avengers are cool, but I'm gonna do my own thing, you know. But in the cartoons, he's all of a sudden got all these spider people and things with him. So they could go that route. It's not necessarily a bad thing. However, if you're going to go the route of having a cooperative gameplay structure, Miles Morales needs to be different from Spider-Man. He can't just be a reskin of Peter Parker. He needs to be different somehow. And the missions need to be different. It can't all be stealth. It can't all be just fighting. There needs to be a different component to it. I don't know what that necessarily means, but I do know that if you're gonna do co-op, it can't just be two Spider-Man just doing the same thing over and over. And it doesn't need to be the entire game either. It should be a difference. Perhaps this is an idea. If Peter Parker does get the symbiote, what you do with Miles Morales is Miles becomes the antithesis of Peter, meaning Peter kind of goes down this darker path, and Miles is like going down this lighter path and trying to eventually steer Peter back in, maybe even having to fight Peter. But within that realm, it's not cooperative. It's just a story element. But I don't think you necessarily have to have Miles be there for a cooperative experience. A cooperative experience isn't really necessary, in my opinion, when it comes to the next Spider-Man game. Can it be done? Yes. Is it necessary? No. I think more so go down the route of having Miles be a foil to Peter if the symbiote becomes the story device in which Peter goes down a different path. That's the route that I would take it in comparison to cooperative. Jane segments were awful. And it wasn't awful because of the fact that, you know, you did stealth. It was awful because of the fact that every time you played as her, it was stealth. There wasn't anything different. Whenever you played as Mary Jane, it's a stealth segment. Why? Here's an idea that I had when I was making my Spider-Man PS4 story that I never finished or uploaded. I had the idea that during the assassination attempt on Mayor Osborn, that Spider-Man is web swinging and he's trying to fight off the or chase down the people, the inner demons, right? And while you're playing as Spider-Man, the camera would shift to Mary Jane, who is following in a vehicle in a high-speed chase with all this action, and you as the player, you're now playing as Mary Jane as she's driving her car, trying to dodge traffic, trying to dodge these other inner demons who are shooting at Spider-Man, all of these explosions happening like it's a set piece, you know, but you have control. It's not on rails. It's you trying to follow the action, the way you can get the story. And that's the kind of the place that I was thinking, you know, but again, Insomniac didn't do that. They had, whenever you play as Mary Jane, it's stealth. Whenever you play as Miles Morales, stealth. Like, that's monotonous. It's boring. I don't want to do that, especially when I'm playing as this superhero who's beating the mess out of people. I don't even have to be this helpless, stealthy woman. No, get that gameplay different. When you play as other characters, it should be different. And if it's not different each time, then I don't want to play as that character. I'm playing a Spider-Man game. I don't want to be stealthy McStealtherpants who can get killed if she's seen. No! Give that, when you play as that character or as a character other than Spider-Man, it should be a different experience each time you play as that character. It should not be, I'm Spider-Man and I'm web swinging this time. Oh, I'm being stealthy in this mission. Now I gotta do this. Now I gotta do that. And then I'm Mary Jane, gotta be stealthy. Now I'm back to Spider-Man, gotta do this, that, but now Mary Jane stealthy. It shouldn't be like that. It should be a different experience each time you play as Mary Jane or each time you play as any other character. And that's a place where Insomniac went wrong, and you need to fix that. There needs to be different experiences, and whether it's you doing high-speed chases, whether it's you, whatever it is, it needs to be different each time, and it just needs to be different, okay? This is something that I think is really, really interesting. I was playing Batman Arkham Knight a few days ago, and when Batman punches someone, there's like this sound and the way that the person reacts where you just go, attack from behind! Ooh, like, Jesus, like, he just punched this shit out of that person. Spider-Man, he has powers, and Spider-Man is like kicking, punching, throwing like motorcycles at folks and manhole covers at people. And there isn't that same feeling. I don't know if it's a sound thing, I don't know if it's a reaction thing, but Spider-Man feels a lot weaker than the Batman within the Batman games. And I think that is something that needs to be worked on. Spider-Man is a powerful person. Sure, he pulls his punches, but there needs to be some kind of force there. There needs, whether it's a sound or even just a reaction when they get hit once. It's a, oh, you know, and then they go back to it. It may be something, I don't know, but Spider-Man feels weak. I'm not talking about the difficulty of the game. I'm just saying he feels weak. When you throw a manhole cover at someone, it sounds different, and also the reaction to the people is different. You know, they don't have to, it doesn't have to be an insta kill. However, it should have some oomph to it, and I feel like it's missing a lot of oomph when Spider-Man is fighting. So he needs some oomph. You know, that would really, I think, make the feeling of the combat be a lot better, or at least be on par with Batman, because Batman, oh Lord, when he hit you with that boom, you be like, oh. Now these are just some ideas that I have, a few ideas. You know, I got a whole bunch more. I'm gonna be making a whole bunch more videos talking about it. But I'm gonna end this video here, you know? So let me know what you guys think in that comment section below. As always, I thank you for watching. I am Venom 2 million, and stay tuned for more videos. Spider-Man PS4 was a good game, but we gotta elevate that boy. The next one gotta be like boom. It's gotta be like this other beast. Okay, it's gotta be the best superhero game ever. I'm not trying to have the best Spider-Man game. No, that's too easy. It's gotta be the best superhero game ever, and that's what I wanted. That's what I want to help this game get to if I can. Do you guys agree with me? If you don't, then let me know. Like, dislike, subscribe. Peace. VENOM to the man. Peace.